So the lack of debris. If there was over 1 million tons that crashed to the ground, we'd see a pile. All right, here's this nice September day. You work at the World Trade Center. There's Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 3, this one that often gets forgotten. And here's where you go to work one morning, Bankers Trust. And you get in your air-conditioned office. It's still kind of warm in the fall. And you're going to look out your air-conditioned office across the street there. What are you going to see? What's over there across the street? Whoops, where'd the building go? This is right across the street. This room is still intact. The window is still intact. And the building is missing. That was Tower 2. You see enough on the ground? Let's look at that again. Looking from right about down here. Now we're going to look the other direction. That's building 4. There's a main body and then there's a north wing. All that's left is the north wing. Main body is gone, went missing. You take a broom probably and almost sweep up the remains. And pretty much only buildings with the WTC prefix were destroyed that day. And really, the FX didn't even spill across the street. That's pretty directed. Here's a top view of the site. And you'll notice over here, lots of holes. There's these zones where material's missing, these cylindrical zones. And here they sort of coalesce into a large volume. It's approximately 50% of the building. And when they took the building down, the remains, to clean up the site, they couldn't use dynamite here or an explosive because they're afraid of fracturing the water retaining wall, because this was built below sea level, below the water table. They used cables to pull it down. Here's again another view. Now, see, One Liberty Plaza here is in trouble. It's going to collapse. Oops, there goes Liberty Plaza. It just collapsed again. It was announced at least 6 times that One Liberty Plaza had collapsed. The building is still standing. People have heard about Building 7 being announced prematurely collapsing. The folks there that day didn't know what was going on. There was also an announcement that an airplane hit the Empire State Building. Folks were just disoriented. There's plenty of things that happen. Now we're going to get down there on the ground level and look right in the front door of where Tower 1 was supposed to be. There's an ambulance that was parked in front of Tower 1. There it is. There's the north wall and the south wall. And you have aluminum cladding. The building was a steel structure with aluminum cladding. Aluminum cladding is about all you see here. You don't see any of the steel wheat checks, the outer wall. And this is right in front of the building. This ambulance doesn't even look clobbered. Looks in good shape. Where did the building go if it crashed down? This is right in front of it. You'll notice this little pile here in the middle. That's the remains of Stairwell B. So here's the one we saw before. This is
Lower Manhattan today. George, I don't know if you heard a little earlier me raise this question, which was actually raised by ABC's Jackie Judd, as we look at these areas down below and the video where the towers used to stand and where is all the rubble gone. And have you been able to, is there any way you can answer that question?
I'm sorry, Peter, I didn't get the question.
Okay, I apologize. Jackie Judd and several other people keep asking us, when you look at where the towers used to stand, there is surprisingly so little rubble. Where did all the rubble go?
It's a very good question, Peter, and I have asked some people who've been doing some of the rescue and recovery work this morning. If you look behind me, you can see the very remains, the skeletal remains of the World Trade Center. And one volunteer, Robert Gerlinski, explained to me the reason there's so little rubble is that all of it simply fell down into the ground and was pulverized, evaporated.
Evaporated? that he was trying to describe. The poor guy, he's trying to tell the world what's going on there. And that's the best he could do. The building's evaporated. But what how else do you explain why there's no rubble there? But what he has captured to tell us is that there was a lack of material left. They're all commenting, where did the material go? Where did the building go? Where did the rubble go? I remember hearing that live and thinking, oh good, somebody's asking the questions that I've been asking. That was the last day I heard that. This is an elevation map of all that was left. This little bump up here, that was stairwell B. And there were 14 survivors in there that walked out. There's the missing building 4. 22-story building, which is one of the tallest skyscrapers in most towns, went missing, except for that little bump that we saw that was left. And here was one of the guys who was in there.
I heard this very, very loud noise above me. It was just a tremendous roar, and it was above, and it sounded like it was coming towards you, and then the wind, a very, very fierce wind, and my helmet started lifting me up off the ground, and so that's when I crouched down. The next thing I just crouched down. I got to the corner of the staircase by the railing, and I just got as small as I could possibly get. Because I'm not a big guy to begin with, so fortunately I'm not. So I got and I literally, well, I guess the best way to describe it, I tried to crawl into my fire helmet. That's what I wanted to do, just to protect myself. And I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought the building might be coming down, and I figured, okay, this could be it, and I was a little angry. I was like, damn it, like, why me? Why, it's beautiful. I'm going to die in the World Trade Center on a beautiful summer morning. It's like a little denial and disbelief sets in, and so then I started getting hit with stuff. It was just debris was hitting me, and it went dark, and then the next thing was just total silence, nothing, no wind. No noise, no light, nothing. And then I started hearing noises. I started hearing like moaning, and guys were starting to communicate, yell out. These were the guys I was trapped with. They're calling out, who's there, you guys all right, blah, 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 and this kind of thing. And I realized I was other people. I wasn't alone, because when you're alone in a situation like that, it's like existential isolation. It's like, and then when you find out you're with other people, it makes you feel a lot better. Even though you're in a very bad situation, at least there's other people. But then the strangest thing happened. This beam of sunlight came right in on us, like about 8 inches long, but it was clearly sunlight. It was all dirty and full of debris, and it looked like pepper was floating around in it, sort of. But it was sunlight, and I'm like amazed now. It's a 110-story building above us, and I'm looking up at the sun. But when you came out, you had no idea where you were. There was no way to tell north, south, east, west. It was just the whole atmosphere was full of debris and papers and smoke, and there was no landmarks. There was no way to make a reference point. You couldn't see the sun anymore. The sun had gone away because the sunlight that had come in now was gone, and so there was no way to tell which way you were going.
That's somebody who survived it. But something else interesting that happened, he kind of wandered around aimlessly for a little while, for a couple hours after that, when he came out. But he survived right down in there, in the midst of all that. And there's where they were. Jay Jonas, another one, right there. I looked and said, guys, there used to be 106 floors above us, and now I'm seeing sunshine. There's nothing above us. Those big buildings don't exist. They're the biggest office buildings in the world, and he didn't see one desk, one chair, one phone, nothing. I like to point out about the toilets. See, these weren't prepared for demolition. There's still all the normal stuff in there. Toilets are easy to see, parts of toilets. They're shiny porcelain. You don't see any of it in the rubble. And also 14 people survived in the bottom of Building 3. That middle hole there was a fellow on the edge of that was with his buddies. When it went black, his buddies went missing. He was right on the edge of it and survived. And Building 4, this has always been a fascination of mine.
Every time a floor hit another floor, it would not only make a noise, but it would cause tremendous vibration. So we're being bounced up and down off the floor, hearing this collapse coming closer and closer.
Mickey Cross was caught on the second floor.
My helmet started flying off my head. I had forgotten to snap my helmet. So I grabbed my helmet. I guess instinctually, I just pulled myself down the corner.
The collapse of the North Tower created a massive rush of air.
I was blown down 6 stories down to the first floor, and all I can remember while I was being blown down was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There wasn't any time to think about anything.
The 110-story tower disintegrated in just 10 seconds.
It was that fast, yet for me it was kind of slow motion too at the same time. And I remember thinking to myself, I said, oh shit, this is it, we didn't make it.
Faced with what seemed like certain death, the trapped firemen thought their last thoughts and prepared to die.
In those 10 seconds, I was like, well, I'm 33. What have I done with my life? Worked almost all the time. My wife is gonna, be a widow now. And I pretty much saw myself. Pretty much saw my funeral. I saw everybody at the wake at my funeral, and my parents and family there.
You think about everything, I guess, that you haven't done in your life. And you realize that, is this it? Are you gonna make it out of here? And I was just too young, and I have too much more to do with my life than for this to be it.
I thought I was gonna be dead in a few seconds. And I remember feeling, I hope this is fast. Because I had a fear of being trapped, like say with a broken back or severely injured, and still being conscious and alive.
It was strange, but I was at peace when the collapse actually started. I said, all right, whatever's gonna happen now is gonna happen. And I hope it doesn't hurt too much, but the fear was gone.
The collapse of the North Tower killed over 1,300 people trapped inside the building. But some of the concrete walls encasing Stairway B had remained intact, and enclosed within them, 14 people were still alive. As they opened their eyes, it seemed as if a miracle had happened.
I could hear Mike. I could hear him groaning. I could hear him called out to me. I called out to him, so I knew he was alive.
From the neck up, I seemed okay, but everything else was just like pins and needles. I mean, I was slapping my leg with my arm. I'm watching my arm hit my leg, but I can't feel it.
I had my flashlight on my side, and I looked at my hands and looked at myself to see if I was bleeding or anything anywhere.
When he heard noises around him, Captain Jay Jonas realized he too had somehow survived the disaster.
I wanted to know who was still alive. And I started calling them out by name.
They all survived. They didn't lose anyone in their group. That's impressive. And they all walked out. So right there, where'd the building go? We're going to go look underground, Building 4. Right there, there's a picture of rescue workers walking in the first level below ground level. There's a mall down there. Right there. And they're walking, and you'll see where it's punched through a little bit. It's right there where it's punched in. Innovation luggage, Hallmark cards. They're walking upright. Yeah, the lights have fallen in. The ground got shaken a little bit. You still have the merchandise in there. 1 story below ground level. Now we're going to go down and look at the loading docks a few stories below there. They color-coded them so that you could see, the delivery guys could see which building they're under. Under building 5, it was colored purple. Under building 4, it was colored green, so you could see where you were. And we're going to look down from that direction where the delivery trucks, when they get to the end, they have to turn and pull out of there, and it's all intact, even though at ground level that building is missing. Purple under building 5, green under building 4. This is after 9/11. There's just more dust on the ground.
Going down to the parking garage. We're in quite deep.
These are the first pictures of search crews underneath the World Trade Center, desperately looking for survivors.
Someone down here?
That's not even a full parking garage. That's an empty one to echo like that. If it's crunched in, you wouldn't get the echo back. It would be dampened. And right above there, ground level, you get dirt there. Here's stairwell B. If you had over 1 million tons of debris crash to the ground, where is it?
We were able to move 120 dump trucks out of the city last night, which will give you a sense of the work that was done overnight. So some of the debris has already been removed. More of it is being removed, and it'll be done by barge all throughout the day today.
Did Rudy Giuliani think they're going to finish cleaning up by the end of the day? That's what it seemed like. But 120 dump trucks. As far as I can tell, they were bringing dirt in. All of this dirt around here appeared overnight. And for the next 7 or 8 years. If 1 million tons of debris had slammed to the ground, where is it? Why didn't it smash this ambulance? This is ground level. This is an 8-story building over here. The outer walls, 8 stories is all that's left. Where are the other 102 stories? This is what James McGlynn said. And we kept telling them we're in stairwell B, those folks that were trapped there. Remember, everybody had the same problem. Where's stairwell B? Tower 1, stairwell B. Where? Tower 1, stairwell B, Tower 1. Oh, where's Tower 1? Can you find stairwell B? Can you find Tower 1? If you heard voices and they said they're in Tower 1, I would tend to think the voices were from beyond somewhere.
Hundreds more firemen were now arriving at the disaster area, but Captain Jay Jonas's Mayday messages were still not getting through. Trapped down in the remains of Stairway B, there was nothing else Jay could do.
We realized we can't get ourselves out. And that's a big mental leap for a fireman to take, because we're so used to being the people who are going in to rescue someone. Now, the roles are reversed, and you realize you're helpless yourself.
But with the survivors buried alive beneath a debris field that extended over 16 acres, it seemed they would need another miracle to save them. It was midday on 9/11, and in the chaos and confusion, Captain Jay Jonas's Mayday messages were still not being received. The firemen had no idea there was a pocket of survivors nearby. Then Jay again tries to make radio contact. Unexpectedly, this time his call is picked up. One of the officers coordinating rescue operations is Chief Nick Visconti. He responds to Jay Jonas's Mayday call.
Operation to ladder 6. All units stand by. Operation to ladder 6.
I got a radio transmission from Nick Visconti. I heard operations post to ladder 6. Operations post to ladder 6. This is Jay, where are you?
Okay, 10-4. North Tower, stairwell B is in boy on the second floor.
But the location Jay gave was unbelievable to them. The North Tower no longer existed. They asked for his location again.
He asked me that a couple times, and one time he asked me that. Somebody else got on the radio and said, "Where's the North Tower?"
I remember somebody saying it, "Where's the North Tower?" on the radio. And I said, "Oh shit." I says, it's not good.
From what you saw, wouldn't you wonder where's the North Tower? There's where they were, stairwell B, just that little bump down there. This 8-story building, building 6 next to it, had that hole in the middle. Building 7 was only like a couple of stories of debris. But notice the bare sidewalk over there. A 47-story building collapses to the ground and doesn't spill completely across the street. There's only 3 lanes of traffic there. And the dome here did not get clobbered. If you have a building collapsing, why doesn't it smash this? Another view, again, here's stairwell B down in there. Where's the building? Where's the debris?